Good morning, parents. Just sent out this quick update to let you know about a few things going on with Oneighty Student Ministries. So tonight we are starting a new series, and it's going to be our last series of the school year. It's going to take us from now until the first week of June, and I'm very excited about it. It's going to be on the 7 letters to the 7 churches in the book of Revelation. And so tonight we are starting with that first letter to the church in Ephesus. What I love about these letters, each one that we're going to spend a week on, is that you can tell they're very specific. They were written to a specific church, a real group of people who were going through a real issue that John was writing to. They're specific in those things. You can see what the specific issue is. But they're also still broad enough that you can see a bit of yourself in each one. I don't know about you, but I see a bit of myself in each letter, in each issue that John is addressing in these letters. You can see sort of how it could be true of you. And so that's what I love about these letters, because hopefully if your students are paying attention, reading through them with us, doing all the things that we're trying to do with this series, they'll see a bit of themselves. And so what I love about the 7 letters is that you see yourself in it, and understanding what's going on in these 7 letters gives you a greater understanding of the gospel. That you can see the gospel quite clearly in these few things of just putting God above yourself, making God your love rather than just the checklist Christianity. And that's what tonight's is going to deal with a bit of. To the church in Ephesus, you've forsaken your first love. What's going on? When you study Ephesus, and when you study what is happening here, that they were such a intellectualism was such a big deal to this city, to this community, that they had sort of abandoned a love of spreading the gospel and just understanding the gospel. To put it in common modern day terms, it'd be like what happened to Harvard and Yale, where they were so intellectual. They were so let's know the details. Let's be the smartest Christians that we can. But they gave up on that pursuit of being born again, gave up on that pursuit of leading others into that life-changing relationship for the sake of knowing what was true and what was not about them. And what Jesus is saying here is basically, just love me. It doesn't matter how much you know me, just love me. And so there's a lot more to it, but that's the very broad overview. And we're going to be talking about that tonight, and I hope your students will join us. These next 7 weeks are going to be great. Coming up in the middle of this series is going to be, in the past, they've always done a food fight. This year we're doing it a little bit differently. It's sort of started a new tradition, as well as we had a few complaints from a few people about the food. So we're doing the same thing, just instead of using spaghetti and mashed potatoes, we'll be flinging paint at each other, of colored paint. If you've seen a color run, came from the Indian festivals where they just throw the powdered paint. We're going to do a lot of stuff with that. So it's still going to be a mess. It's still going to be a blast, and hope your students will come out for that. The date's going to be announced here soon. Finally coming up here in July, very excited that we can finally announce what we were going to be doing for summer. We've been going through looking at a number of options. We knew we wanted to go to a camp. We knew we wanted to help students get a bit of that evangelism training and a bit of the spiritual growth. And so there's going to be sort of 2 weeks that we hope students can be a part of here in July. The first one is with VBS. We're giving a lot of opportunities to students to serve and lead in the VBS this year. And we're looking at that as sort of a replacement for what some of the trips in the past have been, where I really believe that it doesn't matter if you can share the gospel with somebody in Indonesia if you can't share the gospel with somebody who goes to school with you. And so rather than trying to go anywhere else, even down to Chicago, to do some evangelism training, we're going to be doing it right here in our own backyard to people who go to our church. So the VBS servant team is going to be more than just showing up and being warm bodies. It's going to be more training. We're going to be doing a few things afterwards. It's going to be a great week, and I hope your students will sign up to be a part of that. The week after that, we are going to what I believe is going to be the best camp out there. We really struggled with this, so before we announced it, that it's in Florida, and the cost is going to be a bit high. But as we looked through it, that even going to a camp 2 hours away here in Illinois, the cost was going to be roughly the same. So what it came down to was, would you rather spend $450 to go to a camp here in Illinois and hear a speaker that might be good and a band that might be good, or would you rather spend an extra $50, go to Florida, be right on the beach, and hear from a phenomenal speaker and a phenomenal band? And so when it came down to that, crunching all the numbers, we decided, let's go to Florida. And so Passion Conference is something that happens every year in January, for college students. hosted by Louis Giglio and a worship band that you've hopefully heard of, the Passion Band, as well as Christian Stanfield, who's one of the leads on that. And they are beginning this year high school summer camp down in Daytona Beach. And so it's gonna be $500, but we get to go to Florida, be right on the beach. We get to hear from Louis Giglio, who's in my mind one of the best Christian speakers out there. He's going to challenge the students, encourage the students, as well as the leaders. And we get to worship with one of the top worship bands out there. And so it's going to be a great week. It's going to be July 19th through 24th, Sunday through Saturday. And again, the cost is going to be $500, but it is going to be a phenomenal week. And that is for everyone who is coming into 9th grade through those who are just graduating 12th grade. So technically of this year's 8th graders through this year's 12th graders are invited to go to that. There is limited spots. There's going to be a $50 deadline for May 1st, but it's going to be a great trip. We're going to do some fundraising. That cost of $500 is a lot. We're hoping to get that down low. We have the rummage sale coming up, and then we have one, if not two more things coming up before we actually go to camp. So don't let that cost deter you from sending your student to this trip. It's going to be a life-changing week. So that's it for today. Hope you all are having a great week, and if you need anything, if you just want to talk, my email is always open, and I'd love to be caught up with you on Sunday. If you want to set up a time to go out to coffee and talk about what's going on with your student, or just get to know me a little bit more, I'm always open to that. So thanks for watching. Have a great week, and see your students tonight. God bless.